There is enough raw data pulsing through the ceiling of like a single modern broadcasting studio right now to basically crash a standard server farm. And I mean, almost all of it is being carried on strands of glass that are thinner than a human hair.
It genuinely defies intuition when you step back and look at the physics of it.
Right.
We're moving uncompressed, ultra-high definition video across these massive commercial complexes using literally nothing but perfectly timed pulses of light.
Which brings us to our mission for your deep dive today. We are decoding a spec sheet from HDTV Supply for a really crucial piece of this hidden infrastructure.
Yeah, it's called the DVIGear DVI-2375-FOD 75-meter optical plenum cable.
Right, which is just a super dense name for what looks like a seemingly simple black cord.
Extremely dense. I mean, it's quite a mouthful.
Let's tackle that alphabet soup first. So the spec sheet lists it as an, let me read this, an 8XLC50/125U MMF cable.
Yeah, which to an outsider probably reads like a randomly generated password.
Totally. Like, I know MMF stands for multimode fiber, but how does that actually work in reality? Like, if I shine a flashlight down a mirrored hallway so the light bounces off the walls to reach the other end, is that basically multimode?
That is actually a remarkably accurate way to picture it, just, at a microscopic scale. So let's look at the math in that spec line, the 50/125.
Okay.
We are talking about microns here. The core of this cable, the part actually carrying the light, is 50 microns wide.
Wait, if the core is 50 microns, what is the 125 referring to then?
Oh, that's the cladding. It surrounds the core, and it's made of a material with a slightly lower refractive index.
So my hallway analogy, the cladding is the mirror.
Exactly. It constantly bends the escaping light back into the 50-micron core. And because a 50-micron core is actually quite wide in the fiber optic world, it allows multiple modes.
Multiple modes meaning like separate paths of light.
Right. Multiple separate paths of light bouncing down the cable simultaneously.
Hence, multimode fiber. That makes sense. So then what is the 8XLC part? I assume the 8 means we have like 8 distinct channels of this bouncing light.
Yep, 8 channels.
But what is LC?
So LC stands for lucent connector. It's a very specific small form factor connection type.
Okay.
When you're pushing 8 separate channels of pure light over 75 meters, which is nearly 250 feet, you need a connector that perfectly aligns those tiny glass cores with the hardware.
Because even a microscopic misalignment means you lose the signal, right?
Exactly. LC connectors lock in securely. They ensure that high-speed optical data arrives perfectly intact, without degrading over that huge distance.
Okay, so we have 8 microscopic, perfectly aligned glass hallways carrying bouncing light over 250 feet, which actually answers a question that totally confused me on this spec sheet.
Oh, yeah. Which one?
Right next to these futuristic light speed specs, one of the headline features is a, quote, Plenum-rated black jacket. And I was just wondering why a plastic coating gets top billing on a fiber optic cable.
Well, because microscopic glass does not survive in the wild on its own.
Right. Because you're dragging 250 feet of fragile glass through, like, the bones of a building over steel beams and inside air ducts.
That physical reality totally dictates the engineering here. A plenum-rated jacket does 2 major things.
Okay, what's the first?
First, it physically protects that delicate 125-micron cladding and the core from the immense tension of being pulled through a commercial environment.
Makes sense. It needs armor.
Yeah. And second, plenum refers to the air handling spaces in a building, like the drop ceilings in a data center.
Ah, so it's a safety thing.
Huge safety thing. If a fire breaks out, standard cable jackets burn really quickly, and they pump toxic smoke directly into the HVAC system.
Oh, wow. So to meet commercial safety codes, this jacket has to be incredibly tough, fire-resistant, and non-toxic, all while protecting a core the width of a human hair.
Yeah, it's honestly an extreme balancing act of material science.
Which also gives a lot of context to another bullet point here. The spec sheet notes these cables come factory terminated. It totally makes sense now. I mean, you absolutely do not want to be standing on a ladder in a dark drop ceiling trying to manually splice and align an LC connector to an 8-channel, 50-micron glass core.
No, field splicing multi-channel fiber is incredibly difficult and super prone to error.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
By terminating the connections in a highly controlled factory environment, they guarantee that low-loss signal integrity we talked about earlier. You literally just plug it in and it works.
And that really tracks with the vendor here, HDTV Supply, because they have a 25-year history in the AV space and a 96% 4- to 5-star customer rating.
Yeah, you don't maintain a rating like that by selling infrastructure that requires a technician to perform microscopic glasswork while stuck in an air duct.
Exactly. It is all about giving professionals a deployable, reliable solution.
It bridges that cutting-edge optical performance with the harsh physical realities of commercial installation.
So to bring it all together for you, the next time you are marveling at a massive AV setup, an immersive broadcasting studio, or even a sprawling data center, remember it's this highly engineered, incredibly durable infrastructure doing all the heavy lifting in the background.
It really is the invisible nervous system of our modern digital world.
Absolutely. And it leaves me with this final thought for you to mull over. If just one of these cables can silently push 8 simultaneous channels of massive optical data flawlessly over 75 meters, consider how vast and complex the invisible web of fiber optics currently pulsing just inches above our heads in almost every modern building must truly be. The magic we see on the screens, well, it's really just the surface.